On this episode of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar, we'll be doing a spoiler-filled review of Dark Phoenix, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Minties. So, the Uncanny Omar and the Amazing Amanda, we have gotten to see Dark Phoenix, directed by Simon Kinberg, starring Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, and
James McAvoy as Professor Xavier.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
Magneto.
Why did I have a son?
Why did you pause?
I don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence
as Mystique. And then, of course, Ty Sheridan as Scott Summers and Nicholas Hoult as the Beast.
It is directed by Simon Kinberg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's all I know him from is he was a producer on a few of the previous X-Men movies and a writer as well.
Exactly.
Now, as a guy and a lady that have gone and seen X-Men since day one at the movie theaters, I was excited because of comic books and stuff. I was hoping that the saga, because let's face it, this is the final X-Men movie.
Before it gets wrapped into Disney, correct?
Correct, into the MCU. I wanted it to go out with a bang, but instead it went out with a whimper, and we're going to get there. So, can you give us a really quick synopsis, Amanda?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be spoiler-filled.
Spoilerific the whole way through.
So if you haven't seen it, maybe come back later. But if you've seen it or don't give a shit, which you shouldn't, spoilers.
Remember, Omar really loves the X-Men. Okay. So basically the synopsis of the film is the X-Men go on a rescue mission in space to save some astronauts. During this rescue mission, Jean Grey is imbibed with the Phoenix Force because that's what the astronauts had encountered on their mission, and that had rendered their spaceship immobile, and so that's why we had the X-Men coming into space. So this force was attracted into her, and so she's able to control it and contain it because of how powerful she is. If you are a fan or familiar with the X-Men comics, you know that Jean Grey is a powerful force and one of the most powerful mutants that exists. So
already this is contradicting pretty much all the other movies. Yes. Because the Phoenix, she's already used that power even in the last movie, Apocalypse.
She did, yes.
So, what the fuck? But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, at the same time, you have this race of aliens called the Dabari, which also do appear in this Dark Phoenix saga.
Broccoli heads, asparagus people.
But they are not that in this. They are more like the Skrulls. And basically, they are coming to Earth following this Phoenix Force because they are attracted to this force for its power.
Yeah. They want to rebuild their planet that she destroyed.
So she didn't destroy, but it destroyed.
Even though it's never called the Phoenix except by kids in the movie.
They just call her the Phoenix because she seemingly rise from the dead, I guess.
So yes. Yeah. So then Professor Xavier pulled a dick move, apparently, and blocked some of her memories in the style of like Logan and the Weapon X project.
Yeah.
And those memories are starting to come back, and she is channeling this dark force, which I kind of enjoyed at first.
Yeah.
And, what she's having to choose, like, are her friends more important to her than this force, this power?
Yeah.
These memories are breaking her down. And that's pretty much it. This is in her struggle, and then what she decides to do.
Yes.
She is apparently going to destroy everything that Charles Xavier has built since the 60s. Cause
pretty much.
We're not going to talk about the timeline, because fuck that. Cause that's a confusing thing.
This takes place in 92, if anyone is curious.
Yeah, so 8 years before the 2000 X-Men movie. And guess what? Doesn't lead up to that at all.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing from this that leads up to that. So that's really the synopsis.
That is the synopsis without giving away what happens at the very end.
Which we're going to.
And we'll talk about the ending too, because we want to talk about some of the fight scenes. So.
Let's talk about, there's a lot we didn't like.
Yes.
Let's talk about things we did like.
Okay. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender.
God damn it. That's exactly what I was going to say. While I did enjoy Michael Fassbender, I am tired of the whole Magneto wants to be left alone. Now he's in his own little Genoshan island.
Oh, the Genoshan island was nice. And you mean the Shire?
And he's a good guy again. He just wants to be left alone. He has found peace. Oh, but something always makes him come back, and he's evil again. He never
was evil.
As soon as he goes back
into revenge. We'll say that.
He wants to go and kill somebody. Anyway, as soon as he goes back into the house, I'm like, oh, fuck. We're going to go with the stereotypical finding of the helmet somewhere. And that's exactly what he does. He pulls out a suitcase, he unravels the helmet, and you're supposed to go, ooh,
he's going to put it back on.
It's so symbolic. But if he hadn't done it in every freaking other X-Men movie, it would have probably made more sense.
Especially with this timeline, especially with these last few movies where it's been this whole, is he a good guy? There's like that dichotomy. You never really know. And same with Mystique.
And other than a few, things that he helped out towards the end, special effects, really was no need for Magneto. The other thing that I did enjoy was the third act CG, the action sequences, and it felt like that was such a different movie than everything else, because everything else feels dull, and we'll get to that when we talk about the things we did not like. The third act seemed to have picked up, and the train scene, right?
Yes.
All the action
the third
sequences.
Act is the train scene.
And you mentioned there were reshoots. Do you think that was reshot, the train scene?
Yes, 100%. James McAvoy has said they had to do major reshoots because the ending was very similar to another superhero movie that just come out.
Now, what else was good? Maybe the music. I kind of enjoyed some of the music.
Yeah.
The choice. I'll be honest with you. I was on board with the movie the first 10, 15 minutes. When they're going to space, they were setting a different tone than all the other X-Men movies, right?
Set a very
they
different
were
tone.
Working with the government. The President of the United States was calling Professor
called
Xavier
heroes,
to go and find the spaceship, to go and help them out. I thought that was cool. It's a lot different than all the other movies. And then
they're always the villain.
And then, we're going to talk about the bad things. That tone was lost. It was just dull. There was nothing unique about it. For a force that had destroyed planets, it never felt like she was a threat to the team. Like, she came down, she threw people left and right. There wasn't like oh my god, if she goes evil, this is going to be bad. You know, they forced this thing where like she is going to destroy the relationship that Professor Xavier built with everybody, with all the humans, just like that. And I didn't even see that. So we talked about Jennifer Lawrence dying early. Like, even in the trailer, we joked about that.
We all know that was going to happen, because even the trailers early on had alluded to that. So if no one had caught it, I'd be surprised.
Well, it's just one of those things. They built up that character.
And you can tell at this point, Jennifer Lawrence was pretty much ready to go at that point. I don't even think she was much in any of the marketing leading up to this point as far as the press tour.
I want to say
her in anything.
Most of the people's performance and the way they were, like,
it
was good,
it wasn't their best stuff.
It was just,
seen of them.
I think they were done. I think nobody cared. The After Effects, nobody cared, because most of that stuff looked pretty bad, except for, like I said, even the train sequences were okay compared to other X-Men movies. Yeah. It was a mess. And I hate to say that. There was no point in the Debari. What was her name? Vuk,
I think is her name.
Jessica Chastain's character.
Yeah, Jessica Chastain's character. And the problem with that is we've always talked about all these superhero movies, and when they start to do really well or when they start to be really compelling is when they have a villain that actually has a decent backstory or a decent drive, right? We think about Thanos, we think about even the Vulture and Homecoming, Loki, characters like that really can ignite the imagination.
I gotcha. No. Anyway.
But this is very much...
I don't even know if she was a villain. I think she was just...
she wanted to... there's no explanation of how she could try to imbibe... How could she trap the force inside of her? What their vulnerabilities are, because they seem to get... Like, the X-Men seem to get the drop on them pretty good, but our government military guys can't seem to get the drop on with a bunch of guns. So it's very confusing as far as that's concerned. You're not really quite sure what their motive is until she says like a little line to Charles Xavier that she wants to take over everything. Like,
I think part of the problem is that they might have been trying to build this as a 2-movie arc.
I can see that.
And that character was supposed to be introduced. That race was supposed to be introduced and then slowly develop within the 2 movies.
Yes.
So when Disney came in and was like, hey, we're buying you guys, everybody in the production team, everybody was like, fuck it. We'll do what we can. We'll reshoot, and then we'll cut it here.
Because we're not going to...
And that is the problem with this movie. It feels like it was... Even though it was supposed to be out last year, it feels like it was rushed. And
because even when you talked about how destroying everything that Charles Xavier built, you didn't believe it.
Right.
Because the switch that the President of the United States makes just by one thing happening.
Shun,
it just... And how all of a sudden now we have these mutant containment units when you've had them be heroes for how many years?
MCU came after the mutants.
Yeah, it was. He's like, wait, is that... Yeah, that was a cute little, probably not intentional Easter egg,
totally
but whatever.
Intentionally.
When it comes down to it, I didn't believe that part. It just didn't seem realistic that within one day, everyone turns their backs on mutants. That didn't make sense to me. Because all this happens in a very short time, guys. It's not like this...
It's a 2-hour movie.
It's a 2-hour movie, but it feels like it happens in a day.
There was so much that they wanted to do. I feel like I said, it should have been a 3.5-hour movie. Or it was supposed to be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
And saying that, it was disappointing because it was dull. There were parts when characters were talking. And you can tell a first-time director because of the way that the scenes are cut, the way that it's shot. Because that's his vision, right? I mean, the guy wrote the movie and he directed it. So this is the vision that he saw. And it's really dull when characters are just talking to each other. And there's so much of that. I almost fell asleep. If it wasn't for Amanda asking me a question, she was yawning, making me sleepy. I wish I could say it was fun, but it kind of went out with a whimper. Now, saying that, this is the better, at least to me, of the Dark Phoenix stories, which is shit to say. Told in a movie. What would you give this movie?
I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10? Yeah. I would give this a 4 out of 10. Skip it. I would give this a 4 out of 10.
Until it comes out on DVD?
Who's buying DVDs? Wait till Netflix maybe shows it? No, seriously, this is a 4 out of 10 at best. And that's mainly because of some of the performances and some of the CG. And that's really being kind to my X. I mean, because the X-Men, if it wasn't for the X-Men movies, we wouldn't have the MCU.
No, you're right.
I'm going to go out and say it, and that's just maybe my opinion, but that's the way that I feel. And I feel like my characters needed a better send-off, and they did not get it.
So I think that is pretty much what we thought of Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, God have mercy on your soul if you go see it in the movie theaters, but if you're a big X-Men fan, you're already there. You're probably thinking the same thing I was. Man, I should have stayed home and watched reruns of Mr. Belvedere.
Or finish Doom Patrol. Anyways, so we'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, didn't like it, if you totally disagree with anything we've said, let us know in the comments.
Oh, yeah, maybe you loved it. Yeah. We're also going to have a live show tomorrow, so stay tuned on our Facebook and Instagram. We'll announce the time when we're doing it tomorrow night.
We're going to be doing like a last week in review kind of thing and talk about all the news that has come up in TVs and movies, particularly with the DC Universe app. Yep. And we're also going to do Doom Patrol and give you guys.
We're going to rank our X-Men movies.
Yes, so stay tuned for that.
If you're there live, you can join us and tell us what you think.
Yes, and tell us how wrong we are if you think we're wrong.
Because we may be.
We might be.
All right, amazing Amanda. Sign us off.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notification of more great Near Mint Condition content. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at Near Mint Con. Check out our Patreon and our t-shirts on Redbubble. Both those links are in the description below. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Take care, guys. On this episode of oh, you're not ready.
I was ready. I was just pointing. I was like, this episode.
On this episode of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar, we'll be reviewing...
Reels Talk.
Reels. I said Reels Talk.
I think you said Reels. Let's do that one more time. Back, Bentis. I'm the Uncanny Omar. This is the lovely... Nope. Amazing shit, whatever. What's your name?
That could be the lovely, amazing Amanda.
That's a little much. Much. I'm the Uncanny Omar.
And I'm the amazing Amanda.
Please do that again.
We already introduced ourselves. It doesn't matter. We'll say it at the end.
All right, fine. Right. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't know what I'm doing. The snorkeler. All right.
Ooh, oh, that hurt my back of my mouth.
That's what I do, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I do. It went out with a whimper.
I'm so glad you used that analogy.
Oh, I got you. I've read a book with no pictures. Yeah. You see this book? Go read it. Right? That's the synopsis. Phoenix. It's a character that goes bad, therefore dark. Phoenix. It's these reviews I don't look forward to doing. It hurts.
Anyways, so
is this a spoiler part or non-spoiler part?
Oh, I was just saying the whole thing's gonna be a spoiler.
Okay. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence dying. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, and First Class.
We may cut this. All that thing. I had 2 more, and then you had 3 more.
Oh.
God damn it! We're cutting it because Amanda's tired. Find out in another segment.
We'll raise them on Sunday in our live episode after we talk about the DC Universe app and how it's gone to shit and Held in Handbasket.
Spoilers. Okay.
Sounds good.
What? Damn it! Okay, redo it. What is wrong with you?
Let me cut it there. Okay.